Macmillan Audio presents Global Wording, the fascinating story of the evolution of English by Charles Hodgson.
Hi, my name is Charles Hodgson, and this audiobook is a fun introduction to the history of our language. I produce an internet radio program called Punctuates, the podcast for word lovers. You can hear me every day talking about words and language because I'm a word lover. And in particular, I love the history of words, their etymology, the backstories behind what makes each word the way it is to us today. In each episode, I choose one common word that you probably already have in your vocabulary, and I tell you something that you probably didn't know about the word. Sometimes words used to have different meanings, and we can trace the reasons those meanings changed. Words are like building blocks, and seeing what those building blocks are made of gives us a window into what life was like centuries ago. Sometimes I just tell the story of the first person to write the word down. It's fun to explore the human side of people who lived long ago, their greatness and their appalling mistakes. I'd love you to listen. You can find it on the web at punctuates.com. In producing Punctuates, I've learned a lot about how the language we speak came into being. We often just assume that the words we use and how we use them are part of a language that's the way it is, just because that's the way it is. But what I've found out is that English is what we've made it, and it's still being made. In Global Wording, I'll explore the circumstances and events that brought English to where it is today. There's a huge amount to cover in this topic, so I don't have a prayer of getting to it all. So instead, I'm going to talk about the things I think are most likely to stick in your memory. Some because you've already heard the names or events I'll be talking about, and I'll just be refreshing your memory and putting things in context. Others because they in themselves are fun facts and little stories that relate to how English grew to be arguably the most important language on the planet. When an English professor talks about the history of English, he or she breaks it into three parts: Old English, Middle English, and Modern English. I'm going to do that too. But before I talk about Old English, I'm going to talk about the place we call England before there was any English at all.